kind of equation, which makes a linear graph. First, we're going to look at it as a table, then we're going to look at the equation, then we're going to look at the graph, and then we're going to apply it to some word problems. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to catch up with me, because we have like 17 minutes left together, and we have to do this whole lesson. Alright, so with a table, you're going to find your rate of change. So it's delta y divided by delta x. And it has to be constant for it to be a direct variation. So this is exactly like what we did yesterday on our table, correct?
Correct.
Where we found the change in x, we found the change in y, and we divided the two. It's the same thing. Open your flappy. Alright, a direct variation between two quantities is a relationship in which the ratio, which is a fraction, of one quantity to the other is constant. Constant, C-O-N-S-T-A-N-T. That means that it doesn't change, it stays the same. So, let's find our direct variation here. How much do we increase on our x between 1 and 2? And then?
1.
And then?
1.
And then?
2.
Okay? Now, we want it to be the same on the y. We want it to be increasing at the same rate. So what about 6 to 12?
6.
12 to 18?
6.
18 to 24?
6.
24 to 36?
12.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
It is, because we doubled here, right? So if we double here, then we need to also double on the y. Did we double on both of them?
Yes.
So this is a direct variation.
What if it's like?
It would be, because 12 divided by 2 is 6, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And 6 divided by 1 is 6.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're equal, so they have to be equal for it to work.
Yes, it does have to be equal for it to work.
So if it's not equal, it would be no solution?
It would be no direct variation.
Thank you.
Alright, let's look at our next one.
I don't even know if I can.
Please take a point off from your team.
I got it. Let me take it. Never mind, we don't have it. Oh,
We don't have.
we don't have one of others.
Oh.
6 period.
I'll tell you about.
Alright, B. How much are we increasing between -4 and -2? -2 and 2?
2.
That's 4 units.
Oh, shoot. I don't know how to count.
2 to 4? 4 to 6? Okay, let's look at our Y. We're decreasing on this one, correct?
Correct.
So we decrease -7. And then we decrease -14. Then we decrease -7. And -7 again. Now, is this a direct
Yes,
variation?
ma'am, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is, because it doubled on the X and it doubled on the Y. So this is a direct variation. Does everyone understand? You can also divide. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. 14 divided by 4 is 3.5. If it's the same thing, it's yes. Now, let's look at C.
It's not gonna work.
We're just going to do the first two, and I'm going to show you why. Are we increasing or decreasing from 8 to -4? And we're decreasing by?
-12.
Good. Now, are we increasing or decreasing here? By?
A lot.
100. Take a point.
That was good. I don't get this part.
Okay, baby. So we went from 8 to -4, and
I'm
that
talking about the negative, or 0.4 and 0.8.
well, we're not going that far yet.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so right here, how much does it decrease between 6 and -12?
12, or 8, 14.
-18. Thank God. And -12 and 0.5?
12.5.
It's increasing by 12.5. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take those two numbers and divide them. We're going to do 18 divided by 12. Tell me what you get.
-4.
We're dividing.
1.5.
1.5? Alright, do 12.5 divided by 100.
It is
0.125.
Are those the same thing?
They are not.
So the answer is no.
Nope.
Alright, now do D without me.
We do all of them?
You can just do the first two. Once you find the change, then do y divided by x and see if they're the same. That's Aldo's phone.
Okay. 12 divided by 7.
Was on right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's why it made noise.
They're the same thing except, wait.
Yes.
They're the same thing except one's negative, except yes or no. It's completely different.
Alright, what'd y'all get?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not done.
No.
Okay. How much are we increasing between 32 and 80?
112.
I have a question before we do. How do you know, like, if it's on here 12?
Okay, do 80 minus negative 32.
Oh, never mind. I forgot there was a negative 8.
Okay. Alright, how much are we decreasing between negative 48 and 80?
Negative 128.
I'm sorry?
128.
Okay.
Negative 128.
Alright, how much are we increasing between negative 2 and 5?
7.
And 5 and negative 3?
Negative 8.
Okay, so do 7 divided by 112.
You get 16.
No, baby, the other way. 7 divided by 112. Hey, Mr. Jesse?
0.0625.
Okay. There was a human in the hallway. His name was Mr. Jesse. He waved. I said hello.
Yes.
It's crazy. You guys yell at the door all the time.
Wait, is it okay if I did it the other way too?
No, you need to do y divided by x. Because it's slope, right? Alright, so it's yes. I got yes. What'd y'all get?
Yes. I got yes.
Take a point. You got yes, take a point.
Oh yeah, I want to check
I
out.
did get
Alright, any questions? Let's look at an equation. Okay, baby. 7 divided... Oh my gosh, Aldo. What? How? What y'all doing over here? Make it stop. Okay, you do 7 divided by 112 and you get like 0.06125.
Yes.
And then negative 8 divided by negative 128 is the same thing.
Oh, okay. I was confused because I thought you. I don't know. I see. I understand.
Okay. Alright, so on an equation, your equation is going to look like this. And it's going to have a y-intercept of 0. A y-intercept of 0. And k represents the slope. Yes, it is always going to be like this. That's the point of it being a direct variation. Okay, are we ready? 0.
Wait.
Y-intercept of 0.
Oh, right. My intercept.
Oh my God. You are. A direct variation can be written as an equation in the form y equals kx, where k represents the slope. It can't have a plus anything. It can't have a minus anything out there. It just has to be y equals kx. Like y equals 2x, or y equals 3x, or y equals baby Jesus x, or y equals negative rainbow x. It just can't have a plus or anything out there. So then this says, tell whether each equation represents a direct variation. If so, identify the constant of variation. So the constant of variation is the slope, which is k. Now let's look at A. Does it look like y equals kx?
Yes.
Actually,
Y'all, yes it does. It doesn't have a plus or minus anything. This is a yes.
6 is K.
So the answer, k is 6.
Oh, I got it right. Take a point, right?
That's all you have to do.
I got that right too, so wait.
Yes, one more time. Our equation is y equals kx. That's what we wrote down right up here, correct? And it has to look like this, which means it can't be plus anything, it can't be minus anything, it just has to say y equals something x. This says y equals something x. The something just happens to be 6, so it's a direct variation. Yes. It is a no. Why is it a no? Because it has a subtraction sign. It's got the -1. Good, you here. Take a point. What about C?
Yes, because K equals 1/2.
Yes, and K equals 1/2. Take a point.
Wait, it's not the same.
Okay, baby. Do you see how it needs to look like y equals kx?
It looks like
And
one.
this looks like y equals kx. It doesn't have a plus anything. It doesn't have a minus anything. It just has k times x. And k happens to be 1/2 this time.
Oh, wait. So it can be a fraction?
Yes. Yes. What, baby?
Whenever it's like not one, do you have to like explain why? Like,
Nope. You just say no.
okay.
Yes.
Can I do the next one?
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
K equals 2.
K equals 2. Good job, Mason. You would have to divide both sides by 3. Good. Take a point, Avery.
No, because there's a 3.
Okay. So you have to get y by itself. You would divide both sides by 3, and you would get y equals 2x.
Alright.
Well, what about E?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Does it have a plus or minus anything? No. So this is a yes. And what would K be? 1/5. You have to get y by itself. Divide both sides by 5.
Oh, yeah.
So y is 1/5 x.
Wait.
Now F is a great problem.
No, it's not. It's no.
And the reason is we need to get y by itself first. So what would we do to get y by itself? You would add 15x, good. And you would get 5y equals 15x. And then you would divide by 5, y equals 3x. So is that a yes or a no? That's a yes. And what does k equal? 3. And G is in Gotato. No. Why is it a no? It has that. Good. Plus 6. Take a point. You didn't. He said it first. Yes, sir.
Why isn't F? No.
Because it's just, you would add 15x and you would get this by itself, right? And then you divide by 5, so you only have y equals 3x, so you get a yes. Alright, let's look at the graph. Graph. Alright, so the graph, it has to have a y-intercept of 0, which means it passes through the origin. So each graph must pass through the origin. Each graph must pass through the origin. So the graph would look like this. Did you ask me why? Because didn't we write down a minute ago that the y-intercept was 0?
Yes.
And isn't the origin 0?
Yes.
Boom, knowledge.
Oh my God.
And it's called a proportional relationship. So a proportional relationship means that it changes directly with each other, and it always starts at 0 in the beginning.
Now I have a reason to use my emoji. Okay, you know what?
Okay. Alright, so let's open this. It says the graph of a direct variation is always a linear function that goes through the origin. Both of you stop. So it's a linear function that goes to the origin. It must be a line. It can't be a curve. It can't be a hook. It can't be anything. It has to be a line. Are you ready to graph A? Okay, so it must go through the origin. Put a dot on the origin. Now, what is our slope, our direct variation? 3. Is it positive 3 or negative 3? So we're going to go up. 1, 2, 3, right 1. Dun, 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 dun. You're done. I know.
Why'd you go right one?
Because 3 is a whole number, and you always go right 1 because all whole numbers hang out with an invisible 1 underneath them.
Oh.
Knowledge. That's why you go to the right one. Alright, what about B? We would start at 0, and then what would I do?
go
left,
down.
no, you go down one over
Oh, down.
to the right.
Say it again.
One up two.
No.
No, you go down.
You go down one.
Over to the right.
Over is not a direction. I want you to say left or right.
Right.
Right 2. Good. Down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. And would we fall down that hill into the Valley of Chocolate?
Yes, we
So we graphed it right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
C. Do we need to get y by itself? Okay, so what would we do?
read about it.
So y equals 2/3 x. Remember, leave it as a fraction. Leave it as a fraction. So we start at the origin. What's our slope?
Go up to left.
Over
Right.
3.
Over is not a direction.
Right.
Up to right 3.
That is correct. Because we are going up the Valley of Chocolate.
Hey, Aldo, can you tell me how to get in your phone?
Why?
Can you come here?
You trying to mute it? Why?
Oh no.
Maybe she wants to.
Okay.
Give me some of that word Blair Asbury tea.
All right. So now for D, what would we do?
Divide by -4.
Divide by -4. So it's y equals -1/4 x.
Down one, right.
You do go down 1, right 4.
So it's nine.
So like you.
We can't go forward now.
So all of these are.
I did go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
On the
So
other
all
side.
these are.
Okay, baby. You would go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Better?
Yes.
Okay. And our last one. Can you help me out with our equation, Ashlyn?
Y equals 5/2.
It's not over anything because we're not cows.
5 to
5 halves.
5/2 x.
Fantastic. All right, tomorrow we're going to finish with our word problems and then you get your study guide. You need to be here tomorrow because your test is Monday. Does everyone understand me? Add 3 points to your table.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. Right here.